This video is going to show you how to use an equation to make a prediction for your stock portfolio. So I'm going to continue with the same example in the previous video. If you haven't watched that video yet, go back and watch it now. When I created my equation on GeoGebra for Nike, I ended up getting this equation. For my sinusoidal equation. So with this Nike equation, how am I going to be able to predict what kind of the question I'm asking myself, what I need to figure out for my stock portfolio is what will the price of Nike stock be on April 30th? So the next part of the problem, what I'm going to be doing is plugging in I'm going to plug in a value for X in order to predict the price, just like we did with the Snapchat stock in class. So with the Snapchat stock, we plugged in 7 because we were trying to predict the price a week from now. For the Nike stock, we're now trying to predict the price on April 30th. So this all depends on how you define your day zero. So when you are collecting your data and entering it on GeoGebra, you want to figure out what day did you personally define as your day zero. I'm guessing for most of you, your day zero will be February 26th because that's when we started the project in class. So let's do that example. So let's say you started with your day zero as being February 26th. So basically what I'm trying to figure out is if day zero is defined as February 26th, how am I going to define April 30th? So for this, it might be helpful to look at a calendar because I certainly don't have memorized the number of days in the different months. So if I look at a calendar, I can see that from February 26th to March 1st is 3 days. So there are 3 days until March. So that's 3 days. And then in March, there are, how many days in March? There are 31 days in March. 1 days in March. So these are the days I'm adding from February. These are the days I'm adding from March. And then I can see that from April 1st to April 30th will be 30 days. So this is the number of days I'm counting in April. Okay, so 3 plus 31 plus 30, that's 61 plus 3, which is 64 days. So if I'm defining February 26th as day 0, April 30th as day 64. Okay, that's probably the trickiest part. Now what I'm going to do is to predict what the output or what the price will be with the input of 64, the input of 64 days. I'm going to rewrite this whole equation, but I'm going to replace the x with 64. .44 times 64 plus 2.51. Okay, so now I have this whole long thing. My calculator will do the rest of the work for me if I go ahead and plug it in. So I'm going to do that now. Just making sure I have all the parentheses in the right place. Should look like that, plus 2.51. I get out an estimated stock price of 65, if I round it up, 0.69. So this means, kind of a good concluding sentence would be, if I were to sell, this is my stock price on April 30th. So if I sold my stock in Nike on April 30th, my prediction is that the worth at that time, the value of the stock, I would earn $65.69 per stock. So what I would want to make sure now is that this price that I'm gonna earn from selling the stock, I want to make sure that this is higher than the price that I bought the stock for. That's what makes it a good investment. You don't want to buy something unless you know you're going to be able to sell it for a higher value. All right, I hope this video was helpful. What I would do now is I would type this predicted price into my portfolio in the correct spot, and then I would also write a sentence explaining how I made this calculation. So another really good place to look for this calculation is at Dayfee's stock portfolio. If you look at the example linked on Google Classroom, she has a really nice explanation of how she made this calculation, which could also be a helpful place to look. All right, hope this is helpful.